Nim was my first ever Mr. O Plays video. I first discovered Nim by watching an old French movie called L'année dernière Marienbad.
Et si c'était à vous de jouer les premiers?
Anyway, I chose Nim for my first Plays video because it's such a beautifully simple game. It has just 2 rules. You can take as many pieces as you like, but only from one line. If you take the last piece, you lose. This second rule is interesting because Nim is a game that ends when someone loses instead of when someone wins. This is called a misère play condition, and I'll talk about this more in a future video. It's a lot more fun than it sounds. Anyway, it's this rule that gives us our first Nim variant, so here we go. Number 1. Last piece wins Nim, or non-misère Nim. This is the same as Nim, except if you take the last piece, you win. Number 2. One pile Nim. This is also the same as Nim, but instead of putting the pieces in lines, you put them in one big pile. And to make it fair, you can only take 1, 2, or 3 pieces at a time. As normal, if you take the last piece, you lose. Number 3. Many piles Nim. This is the same as one pile Nim, except, you guessed it, you have more than one pile. As many as you want, actually. Number 4. Witoff's Game. Witoff's Game is the same as Many Piles Nim, but there's a little difference. You start with 2 piles, and you can take 1, 2, or 3 pieces as before. However, you can also choose to take pieces from both piles. If you do this, you must take the same number from each pile, so 2 from each, or 3 from each. Number 5. Circle nim. Here, instead of having rows or piles, you have a circle. However, you must take adjacent pieces. That just means pieces that are next to each other. If there is a gap, you cannot take those two pieces at the same time. Number 6. People circle nim. This is the same as circle nim with pieces, except that you use people. And, well, because I don't have 12 people to play with, I'm using Lego people. But you get the idea. Just walk around the circle and tap 1, 2, or 3 adjacent people on the shoulder, who then should sit down. I always think this would be a good game for school picnics. Number 7. Cales. Again, this is similar to nim with circles or piles of pieces, but this time you have just one long line. The other difference is that you only remove 1 or 2 pieces each time, not 3, and they must be adjacent. You can also play this with bowling pins. Number 8. 21. This is another favourite of mine, and it doesn't need any pieces at all. Simply count 1, 2, or 3 consecutive numbers in turns. Whoever says 21 is the loser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Urgh! You can play this in other languages too.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21。哎呀，我输了。
Number 9. Grundy's Game. This is quite different from other ones, but it's still a kind of nim. You start with one big pile of pieces. Take it in turns to split the pile into 2 unequal parts. The parts must have unequal numbers of pieces in them. Piles of 1 and 2 cannot be split, because 2 can only be split into 1 and 1, which are equal numbers, and, well, you're not allowed to smash the pieces into 2. If you cannot split any piles, you lose. Number 10. Well, actually, number 10 isn't really a variant. It's more like a top tip. So in my first Nim video, I said, there are lots of Nim games on the internet, like this one. But the computer always wins here. But later, a very clever student of mine showed me how to beat the computer. And here's how. First, open up 2 tabs of Computer Nim. Choose one to be your real game, and the other to be your advisor. In your advisor tab, press PC Move to make the computer move first. Then copy that exact move on your real game, and continue. I want to thank my student, M, for showing me this. Honestly, I'd never beaten the computer until I tried this method.